through the list, it is quite straightforward actually. For example, reducing all types of nuclear weapons, ensuring their non-use, reducing their operational readiness, constraining the development of advanced new types, increasing transparency of the nuclear programs, building mutual trust and confidence, and creating, among others, the nuclear weapon-free zones. The difficult part is in having every party to come together to an agreement and to embrace the bigger picture of the greater good for all of us, for everyone. So first, I believe that it is also mentioned by Ms. Nakamitsu, we should begin with reinvigorated dialogue and serious negotiations among players with leading roles to be played by nuclear weapon states. I sincerely feel that the nuclear weapon states, they have, I think, more responsibility to see progress in the area of nuclear disarmament. And we might be alarmed by the soon expiration of 2021 of the New START Treaty, the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty between the US and Russia. And at this point has also been highlighted also by Ms. Nakamitsu. In the event that there is no negotiation towards a new treaty, then in 50 years, as you mentioned, there will be a void in that aspect. And the second point is that all member states could collectively strive towards concrete and irreversible steps towards a world free of nuclear weapons. And this is also nothing new. That is making nuclear test ban permanent by entering into force of the CTBT. And then commencement of an early conclusion of negotiations on the treaty banning the production of fissile material for nuclear weapons and other nuclear explosive devices, and developing approaches for nuclear disarmament verification. If we fail to take necessary steps in the near future as highlighted, then we are exposing ourselves to further risk of miscommunication, misunderstanding, miscalculation, and potential disputes. And so long as the nuclear weapons remains in existence, our lives and humanity at large are at risk of extinction. It might sound dramatic, but that is the reality that we face. And there is also kind of, the views, or rather the opposing views of nuclear weapon states versus non-nuclear weapon states. And there is a school of thought that promotes immediate denuclearization towards complete disarmament, while the other school of thought promotes for a step-by-step approach. It would be ideal if we could get a middle ground solution. And then not to forget, there's a treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons, TPNW, that was adopted on 7th of July 2017, which prohibits its parties from engaging or assisting in a range of nuclear weapon-related activities. It also includes provision to enable a state that possesses nuclear weapons to join the treaty and subsequently eliminate its nuclear arsenal. As evident during the first committee of the 72nd General Assembly in 2017, the correlation between NPT and TPNW was hotly debated. The back and forth argument could continue for months and years perhaps, but we should not be trapped by the same mentality of enmity and only blaming the other party. But I do believe that 59 signatories to the TPNW would continue to champion the treaty and push consistently for its entry into force, while it will be opposed by the non-signatories. We could just imagine how this would influence the spirit and environment in the room in the future if we continue on the trajectory of opposing approaches. On the other hand, what we need is a spirit of collaboration, understanding, and mutual trust. The entry into force of TPNW, however, could not guarantee us with a much required solution, as there could be some form of violation in one way or the other. Perhaps a little bit on the way forward. We should come to the negotiating table with open minds and hearts. Only from dialogue that we could develop trust. And in this respect, I think I need to reiterate on the need for honest and serious attention for all parties involved to get involved in this dialogue. All the tools are available in the form of treaties, laws, rules, and regulations, but they are only not limited to the outcome, in the sense that we need to honor our commitments. And as demonstrated by the recent US and DPRK summit, nothing is impossible if there is a political will, and if we come together and put aside our differences in the interest of pursuing a world free of nuclear weapons. I think in conclusion, I must say that the report of the UN Secretary General is indeed very, very timely, because there is a perception out there that we are experiencing fatigue in the field of disarmament because of the lack of progress made in the past couple of years. So from that perspective, Malaysia very much welcome that report. And once again, before I end my remarks, once again, thank you very much, Khairat, for this invitation. Thank you.
I thank Ambassador for his very valuable comments and very interesting expose on the plan. So, I'm